Well, according to documents leaked by Edward Snowden, the NSA is intercepting millions of images every day via the internet, including 55,000 facial recognition quality images. Now, the agency has turned to some new software that helps them exploit the flood of images included in emails, text messages, social media, video conferences, and other communications on its mission of tracking suspected terrorists. Now, according to the NSA's new director, their use of this facial recognition stays within the legal boundaries. We can trust them to obey the laws there. Now, according to him, he says the NSA doesn't access motor vehicle or passport databases to examine images of U.S. citizens. So basically, he's assuring us that the NSA doesn't go into these existing government databases that are already set up. Basically, they are intercepting these images by surreptitiously breaking into your emails and your Skype feeds and stealing these images. He says that whenever they come across the potentiality that they're, tracking and monitoring someone with a U.S. connection, they stop. Right. But then he goes on to echo, which is quite possibly what was being discussed at Bilderberg this last weekend, the issue of privacy. And of course, he is now spouting what's going to be the new argument, that citizens just need to come to terms with all of this spying. He says the idea that you can be totally anonymous in the digital age is increasingly difficult to execute. But that is not a satisfactory solution. Just deal with it. Just get used to it. Maybe that's okay to the lapdog media that's going to start pushing out this message, but that's not okay with us here at InfoWars, and it's not okay with the young Andrew Demeter. He is the 16-year-old investigative journalist that's fighting the New World Order, one tough question at a time. We've interviewed Andrew here on the show before, and he's made some great documentaries for the Truth Movement. And, due to those really great documentaries, he was a winner of the Student Cam documentary competition put on by C-SPAN. And one of their big prizes they had was getting to meet Nancy Pelosi. Well, Andrew used his opportunity to confront Nancy Pelosi about her stance on the NSA's overreach.
Why do you support the NSA's illegal and ubiquitous data collection?
Well, I do not. I have questions about the metadata collection that they were collecting, unless they had a reason to do so. So I was one who I didn't support Amash, that resolution. I didn't think that was the appropriate resolution. But I do think that the burden is on the department, and I have fought them for years, on the community, fought them for years on the wide swath that they have put out there.
You did vote for a bill to continue funding for the NSA, though.
Yeah, of course. I don't think we should not fund the National Security Agency. No, they do many things.
Isn't the NSA a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment?
No. Some of what they do should be subjected to scrutiny in some of the things, but they perform many other functions as well. And we hold them to a high order. And I've had my biggest fights here in the intelligence community with the director of the NSA, Hayden. When he was the director, I don't think he was on the level with us. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other things that are there that are good things that are necessary for us to have. But from 9/11 on, the Bush administration went too far on all of these things, and we have the correspondence back and forth to prove or to demonstrate that they were just doing the wrong thing.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi, did you see the look on her face? She was just stuttering. Someone's getting fired. She's like, who let this thinker in here? Now, Andrew is much braver than me. Obviously, a great example for the next generation. Demeter said, if I, a shy, socially inept high school student, can expose on a global scale the paradox that is politics by asking nothing more than a question, then so too can you. And he is absolutely right. Those are wise words. That is exactly what we must do. And that's, of course, what we try to do every single year when we cover the Bilderberg meetings.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the info war. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.